Converted man here?
It's the converted man.
Converted man here. I have good news and I have bad news. First, the good. Seems like my first CARM HARM series hit Slick's ego, and he decided that perhaps his atheist section needed an overhaul. He took out worldview, at least in what is atheism, although it still shows up in other places. Now, for the bad news. Since he overhauled his whole atheist section, that means CARM HARM 1.2 must be a thing. Why? Because I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess. But this time, logical fallacy counter will be along from the ride from start to the finish line. And you know who will almost certainly make a call or two. Alright, so be ready. Here we go. Again. I go. Here. Okay. Atheism has been defined as anything from a lack of belief in God to a total denial of his existence. Whichever the case, atheism is a growing movement that is becoming more aggressive, more demanding, and less tolerant of anything other than itself, as exemplified by its adherents. Is it a cogent belief? Is it a worldview? Find out more about it here, as well as how to deal with those who preach the message of atheism. I'm not sure where he's getting any of these ideas from other than his imagination. When, where, and who, and what are people saying and or doing that's less tolerant of anyone else? This is fear-mongering. No data, no proof to back up these claims. What, if anything, do atheist groups, when they're big, want? What is it that they do? The only thing I can think of is separation of church and state would be the only thing that he has a bone to pick with. Well, too bad, that's the law. It's the Christians that are trying to force plaques of the Ten Commandments to be put up in public places that are owned by us all. It's Christians that are trying to get ID into classrooms. Although maybe some other religious people are behind that as well. It's typically the Christians that are pushing for these things. You cannot represent any one religion over any other religion because there's so many religions in this culture. It's a melting pot of people and ideas, and the continual woe is me, pity card, victim card that is consistently played over and over again by people like Slick. Oh, we can't put up the Ten Commandments, you're persecuting us, is sickening. You can't put them up because that's in the Constitution. Okay? If you don't like it, then leave the country and go somewhere else where they would allow you to do that. Or the other choice is to allow everybody to put up anything that they want. We've seen that happen, and we've seen how crazy it gets. Mayors that have allowed any group that wants to petition to put up a statue or plaque or what have you in a park, they find out very quickly how many groups will come out of the woodwork to put up anything and everything. And all you have to do is declare yourself a religion and say, we're the religion of porn, and we want displayed the goddess Venus naked, fornicating, because that's our religion. Well, I let everyone else, I guess I have to let you, right? So it's ridiculous. You've got to have separation of church and state. It's good for everybody, but of course, that to Slick is not okay because he wants special privilege given to his religion. The fallacies here are straw man, appeal to fear, and potential poisoning of the well, but I think I'll just leave it at those two. Section 1. What is atheism? The word atheism comes from the negative term a, which means no, and theos, which means God. Hence, atheism in the most basic terms means no God. Basically, atheism is the lack of belief in a God and or the belief that there is no God. By contrast, theism is the belief that there is a God and that he is knowable and that he is involved in the world. Most atheists do not consider themselves anti-theists, but simply non-theists. I like that little no God symbol so much, I'm just going to have it be for the CARM HARM logo now. Alright, anyways, back to this analysis here. So, did he get this right? Kind of, sort of. Once again, what's missing here? I think I can hear you through my monitor, through the internet, even though that you'll be watching this in the future, and there'd be no way for me to actually hear you. You're saying lack of citation. Okay, so yes, lack of citation. Once again, no dictionary, no citation, just this is what it means. The negative a does not mean no. It means without. But who cares about little technicalities like that? So it's without gods. And interestingly enough, theist doesn't mean what he described either. Because not all theists believe that God is a he, or even that that would be the proper way to frame God. And not all theists believe that God is knowable, and not all theists believe that God is involved in the world. So this is just certain theists believe these things. Not all theists believe those things. Some theists believe in multiple gods. Some believe in gods that don't really do anything. Of course, then there's deists as well that believe there's some sort of God but doesn't intervene in human affairs or care about life on this planet one way or the other. And you could have any other number of God claims out there that could fall under theism. But screw all that. We're just going to go along with Matt Slick's definitions without any citations because Matt Slick's a walking, talking dictionary. So anyways, he sort of has defined atheism, and I guess I can kind of live with it. Just stop there. Don't screw this up any more than you already have. And spoiler, he's gonna screw it up by continuing anyways. I've encountered many atheists who claim that atheism is not a belief system, while others say it is. Since there's no official atheist organization, nailing down which description of atheism to use can be difficult. Nevertheless, the following are some definitions offered by atheists. Whichever definition you accept, atheism denies God. No, 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 and no, straw man. Straw man! You just keep pressing that straw man button, Slick. You were doing fine. Until you realize that just defining the word and moving on isn't much of an article. Now you have to say that we, quote, deny God, and quote. How can we deny something that we don't think exists is beyond me. Okay, do you deny leprechauns' existence? Now, if you ask Slick these questions, he would dodge them and perform all sorts of mental gymnastics. But nonetheless, let's ask anyone that's not Slick, do you deny leprechauns? I don't believe in leprechauns. I can't deny something that isn't even within the realm of possibility. There are people that deny biological evolution. See, there's a real example that he could have, should have used. There are Christians, unfortunately, that deny biological evolution. They shouldn't do it because it's scientific fact. It is the best explanation that we have. And the atheists that don't believe in God, from my perspective, are denying God. because from my perspective, I think God is real. See, by framing it that way, you make it about your perspective and not about the state of reality. And you also give a far better analogy. But, I'm trying to rewrite this at this point. It would just, if I was to do this page, it would be one sentence. Atheism is without God. People are atheists because they find no evidence for God and other reasons too. The end. So he wouldn't want me to do that because he couldn't attack atheists if he did it that way. Anyways, so do you deny goblins, orcs, and dragons? Do you deny God? See, goblins, orcs, dragons, God. Who denies those things? Nobody! Because no one thinks that they really exist. Well, maybe somebody somewhere does, but you just don't believe that. So there's a big difference between denying and not believing. An atheist is someone who believes and or knows there is no God. An atheist lacks belief in a God. An atheist exercises no faith in the concept of God at all. An atheist is someone who is free from religious oppression and bigotry. An atheist is someone who is a free thinker, free from religion and its ideas. Okay, Matt, I can't disagree with you there. Those sound like things that atheists would say about themselves, so no straw man here. Now just end it before you screw it all up. There are two main categories of atheists, strong and weak, with variations in between. Strong atheists actively believe and state that no God exists. They expressly denounce the Christian God along with any other God. Strong atheists are usually more aggressive in their conversations with theists and try to shoot holes in theistic beliefs. They like to use logic and anti-biblical evidence to denounce God's existence. They are active, often aggressive, and openly believe that there is no God. Mr. Strawman, yes, bring me some straw, bum 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 bum. I wanna beat up on an argument that's not his at all. Make him seem like he's not doing well, and punch this bag until it falls on the ground. Strawman, Anyways, so no, this sloppy idea that's meant to be a definition that's not a definition adds in several things that aren't necessarily true. Yes, there is the strong and weak atheist position. Congrats for getting that right. Shame on you for not getting it completely right, as there's also anti-theist, which is in its own category, separate from the two other categories. I don't know of any anti-theists that are weak atheists. I would assume that they're strong, but if they want to categorize themselves as just saying, I don't believe in God, and being an anti-theist on top of that, by being against all things that are theistic in nature, then they're free to do that, and I can't tell them, no, you're not allowed to do that. That's just silly, because people could define themselves in any way that they want. Nonetheless, as far as, they're always attacking Christianity, well, they're attacking every religion that they can. It just so happens that Christianity is the easiest target and has the most videos on YouTube and has the most presence on the internet. Following closely behind would be Muslim, which pretty much uses the same arguments that Christianity does, or they just say, well, Allah's real and that's it, or the Quran is real and you have to believe the Quran and that's it. They don't really have any different arguments, so it's like, and every other religion is either quiet or isn't a strong enough presence to really poke holes in whatever their arguments or ideas might be. So, at any rate, as far as this, whatever this is, poisoning of the well borders on that. It's definitely a straw man. But you know what? Everyone gets a free pass, I think. I think everybody deserves at least one time that they just get their slate wiped clean. So, you know what? I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it slide. I'm just going to say, okay, fine, whatever. You think that's what strong atheists are? Whatever. I don't care, whatever. Go along. I'll just play along for now. But just this once. Let's just see how that works out for me. What's that? It's going to work out badly? Okay. Agnostic atheists, as I call them, are those who deny God's existence based on an examination of evidence. Agnosticism means not knowing or no knowledge. I call them agnostic because they state they have looked at the evidence and have concluded there is no God, but they say that they are open to further evidence for God's existence. I really wonder what definition of agnosticism. You know what? Let's stop pretending. Matt's making up these definitions as he goes. Okay, he's not using any dictionary. I'd love to pretend that he was, but he's making it up. What do you mean that's special knowledge on my part? He is. He's making it up. All right. I've been told by my non-existent director that I pretend that exists so I can have somebody to yell at, that I can't perform logical fallacies even though Matt Slick is. Alright, fine. Anyways, I'd love to know where Matt's getting this definition from, blah, 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 whatever. You keep saying deny. You can't deny what you don't think exists, or what you don't know if it exists or not. I don't know. How can I deny it if I don't know? So, I'm just going to go ahead and add in another fallacy for every time you use the word deny. So retroactively, you've used it 3 times, so +3 on the fallacy counter, being all strawmans. Anyways, that's it. You know, I guess Slick's not using a dictionary, so I'm not going to either. Lobsters mean agnostics now. Why not? Some atheists say agnostic, some don't. I say I'm a skeptic. What are you going to do with that? I don't know. Whatever. But who cares? Moving on. Screw it. Weak atheists simply exercise no faith in God. The weak atheist might be better explained as a person who lacks belief in a God, the way a person might lack belief that there is a green lizard in a rocking chair on the moon. It isn't an issue. He doesn't believe it or not believe it.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Wow, I need a moment to recover. He was so right there, but getting everything else so wrong. It's just making my head hurt. Anyways, I'll accept that analogy. Green lizard on a rocking chair on the moon. I mean, I guess you could have used Russell's teapot, but we want to leave those pesky skeptics out of the discussion, so fine. I'll accept that as an analogy. At least it's not a blue screaming ant. Anyone that watched the first CARM series will totally get that. The rest of you will not. There is another group of atheists that I call militant atheists. They are fortunately few in number. They are usually highly insulting and profoundly terse in their comments to theists, and particularly Christians. I've encountered a few of them, and they are vile, rude, and highly condescending. Their language is full of insults, profanity, and blasphemies. Basically, no meaningful conversation can be held with them. And now it's time for Deconverted Man Loses It! Oh, you mean like if Matt Slick was an atheist, he would be like this. If Matt Slick was an atheist, he'd still be such a dick. Slick, dick. It rhymes, so you go. You go where it shows. Slick would be like that guy who everybody subscribed to a while, oh my. But he was loud and obnoxious too. We said forget about him. Said screw you. We unsubscribed from that guy, that scum, because he kept bringing up his girlfriend's mom and dad and stuff. So we're not gonna talk about him. Instead, we're gonna pretend that we're like Matt Slick and use profanity, ass, butt, and we're gonna swear about God's name, God, blasphemy. I don't really know what the bleep that means. Is it like saying that Jesus has a poop on his head? I don't know, the Holy Spirit is dead. Is it like saying that God can suck my balls? Not really sure how to insult the malls. That didn't make any sense. Like Matt Slick. Yeah!
And now, back to the show!
Alright, that's it. I can't stand anymore, so join me in part 2 of 1.2 of CARM HARM of, well, I examine this first page, because I'm not done with the first page, and I'll cover 2 main types of arguments from atheists and some basic tenets of atheism. What is atheism now? An apartment complex and it has tenants in it? Or it's like a game where, like, you take a ball that's green and bounces and you try to hit it over net. That's tennis? That's tennis, not tenants. Oh, whatever. Anyways, I'll be covering those and the next page, some of that as well. But I'll do all of that in the next video. So until then, do stuff, I guess. Or don't do things. Subscribe and comment and thumb and share and whatever if you want to. Or throw money at me through PayPal, which is on a link on my channel thingy somewhere. So you could do that if you want to. I don't know. Whatever else people say at the end of videos. I can't say the logically coherent argument thing that I normally say, so how do I end? Sorry, I'm getting a note from my non-existent director to just end this now.